Hey folks, LA Little here with TA Today, and I'm going to look back at the Mag 7 stocks here because a lot's happening with this 50 basis point cut by the Fed. The question is it going to make a difference? And we're going to start with the FNGS, which is a proxy for those. If you see this high back here, 49.82, you can see we closed 49.49. So we haven't actually gotten that ABCD structure to take off yet, right? You got to get over that B point to get this thing to extend. If it extends, it's going to go to the top. And so it's as simple as that. This thing's going to push all the way back to the top. It's not extended on the short term, just starting to get there on the sideways. It is extended here, but this thing may just come all the way to the top, get this over plus 80, which is possible. And take it up there. You can't argue with the market when the market does what the market wants to do. Swing point high here, you get over that, right? You get a little retest, regen, and generate higher. You get another swing point high here. This is the beef of the resistance until you get to that top. And so I could see how this could do it. Now I'm going to take these in order. I'm just going to go down in order here and just take them. So I'll start with Apple. If you like these videos, hit the like button, subscribe. Hit the alert button too, and you can get alerts anytime I post new material. Apple had looked like it was going to struggle, but then it actually got some mojo and came right back. It's trying to get over its B point, which is there. Now it had a much larger run higher. Now it's come back. This clearly will make brand new highs if it gets over it. You had a huge volume. Of course, this is options expiry on Friday. So it goes over, comes back, leaves volume up there, swing point high here. This is really the last of the Mohicans, so to speak, right? You get over that, you're going to new highs. This looks pretty bullish. If you look at it here, not extended at all because it already reset back here. So, I mean, this thing to me, I shouldn't say it reset. It broke out much later than other things. I would say this thing has a good chance of popping up to new highs. If we switch to Amazon, Amazon also much stronger than I expected. This one I did not expect. So you got an ABCD in play. You can see that right there. It's short term, confirmed, so it's already in play. 198's the target. Well, what's your top? It's right at that price point. So this thing's going right back to test the top. Not extended, right? Would go bullish if it breaks that swing point high. So I can't say anything bad about this one either. Now the weakest one had been Google, still is, even though it got a nice bounce off its bullish retest regen down here. Here's your retest regen, and it actually was a little bit surprising that it didn't get a little bit more of a push to the downside, but because it already tested back here. So this was that's two tests back there, so this is test 3 and 4, test 3. Usually third test odds are pretty bad and you're going to go deeper usually, but it didn't, right? Which is a sign of strength, right, instead of weakness. So this thing's probably going to come back up and get back into this resistance zone. Now, depending on where we are when it gets up here and what the rest of the market is doing, maybe there's a short position here, but I mean, that's probably the extent of it. I wouldn't be putting my money in this one, but it is looking pretty decent. Now, Meta's the one that really surprised me. I thought this one had already topped. Well, it hasn't. Here it goes again, breaking out and pushing to new highs. Broke out here, gap up on Thursday, a little bit of an extension on Friday. I don't see anything bad here. The only bad thing is this: it's overextended. So it needs to reset a swing point low. Now, if it goes up here long enough, right, 6 bars, you'll get a swing point low way up here, right? It could reset right there, and that would be basically a retest regen off of this. Well, actually, that's not quite true because that was broken here, not here. But anyway, it could get down into that area and get the reset, and still, in other words, not much damage done. So a lot more strength than I expected. And so, the market does what it wants to do, and right now it's telling us that it's stronger than we thought. Turning to Microsoft next. Now, Microsoft is kind of a sleeper still. This one hasn't really taken off. You did have an ABCD here, right, that got fulfilled, I believe. Yeah, it's already done. It looks like 443, almost done. It's this one here. It looks to be this one right here. So this one, it's okay, but it's not great. It just hasn't done what it probably should have done. Maybe it got ahead of itself, but again, it's still bullish. It's not bearish, and still a good-looking stock. If I go to Nvidia now, Nvidia has probably been the one that's disappointed most folks the most, because it really hasn't just skyrocketed higher. But I don't do the cup and handle stuff, but if I did, I would be talking about that. You got a swing point high here. That's an ABCD structure. If it gets over it, which would take it up to this area, and that's this area that you see on the weekly. And so that's probably what it's going to target next. So I don't know that I'm looking for a new high here, but I am looking for a higher high than what printed back there. And if you think about it in those terms, this really is just a build out of a little tight range after what has been a massive run twice now, right? And so maybe this thing is finally getting towards the end of its latest massive run before some sort of a reset. But it looks like it's congestion zone up here, not new highs. Now Tesla's the one I'm interested in. I've talked about this one. I like the setup here. I've told you before that on a long-term basis, one could think about it as kind of a inverse head and shoulders. That wouldn't trigger until you really got all the way up here and broke out. But it's a nice pattern when you see this. This one is actually set up a nice run. So you had a nice run up to here, a deep pullback. Now it's got a little ABCD going up, and if I come over here, it just broke out. So I would like to look at it in this retest regen zone here. So you had a breakout off of this swing point high here. It failed. Now you have a breakout. I would expect it will come back into a retest regen in this zone, and that's a place you could actually think about it if you're interested in Tesla longer term. It's got a nice setup up here, right, with these swing point highs all in the same area. So once this band up here is taken out, this thing's going to take a nice push higher. And that band, if I take this one over here, that's about 280, which I believe is this one. Yeah, it's a little bit lower than that one. So 299 is that one. So I can see this thing take a fast move up to the 300, 320 mark, maybe even higher. And you know how this thing flows with the momentum. So I like Tesla. So if I look at all these, right, with the 50 basis point cut, with the market continue to showing strength, even though it has divergence on breadth numbers that I keep track of, I can't say anything bad. I mean, you go with the flow, and when the flow is going up, you got to go with it. You change your mind if you need to. If you're crusty and you won't, that's when you get hurt. So right now things look pretty good. Have a great one. Take care.